guys, here with you with FC Wonderkid, episode 42. Here with my guy, Bretton. How are you?
Doing awesome. I'm doing awesome. We survived the transfer window somehow. It almost felt like we weren't going to, but we did. And we've got the AFCON is coming to an end. So there's a whole lot to talk about. But How are you, Alex? How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I gotta say big up to Cristiano Ronaldo, 37 years old, and Neymar is 30 years old. So no more 29 fiasco. He's on the 30 talk, okay? So we're gonna talk more about that. But you're mentioning the AFCON.
Yeah.
True. Liverpool fans love the final for sure, I guess. And it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Carlos Queiroz with Egypt. With national teams, Carlos Queiroz tends to be a really good coach. And Ferguson, always knew, defensive-minded coach. Assistant, very good assistant with Alex Ferguson. So it's good to see Carlos Queiroz. With Iran, he was really good too. So
Yeah, I remember the guy. He was actually, I think he was coach of the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars back in the day in Major League Soccer.
I know, but he was crucial in the MLS structure of doing the whole plan.
Yeah, and how's that for? I mean, that was 20 some years ago. But unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be able to be on the sideline for this final, right?
That's typical Portuguese coach. Typical Portuguese.
Firebrand. But I'll tell you what, it's been a really fun tournament, and there are a couple players that I obviously want to talk about. But before we get to that, you mentioned it. Sadio Mane versus Mo Salah in the AFCON final. You're going live for this. I know we're recording this right beforehand, so I'm gonna ask you in a bit who you think is gonna win. But think about this. Mo Salah and Sadio Mane now need to fight for the AFCON final, okay? And then a month or so from now, 6 weeks or so from now, they once again need to fight with each other. First leg, I believe, is in Egypt. Second leg is in Senegal. But they need to fight each other for a spot in the World Cup. In the World Cup, man. So Liverpool fans are going to be pretty divided on this. But you know what? Liverpool brought in Luís Diaz to make it easy. They can put all their loyalty behind Diaz and get rid of one of the. No, just kidding. But it's going to be a battle, and I'll tell you what. I'm going to say it right now. I'm a sucker for a first-time winner. I'm hoping Senegal pulls it out, gets it done, and gets the win. What about you? Who do you think is going to win?
I agree with you. It'd be special for Senegal since it's such a special generation, guys. If you don't know, like Edouard Mendy, goalkeeper, Koulibaly, Sadio Mane, like you don't see these type of players like running up into a national team in Africa. So Senegal, big up, and hopefully we're gonna see many more teams like these, man. Okay, it's just the start. But I agree with you. We're not going to see it in the World Cup too. It's crazy how both teams have such momentum, such important games in such a short period of time. So, or you would imagine if Salah wins the AFCON, but he doesn't go to the World Cup. So if it was a win for one and it's a loss for the other, that might be the case.
I agree. I actually fully agree with you. I was actually going to say this. I was going to say whoever wins the AFCON final is my suggestion. That is, they're not going to go to the World Cup because I think whoever loses the AFCON final is going to have a chip on their shoulder, be extra pissed off, and find a way to get it done to get to the World Cup. So, I'm with you there. It's like a split decision. That I don't know, but it's going to be a fun game, and I'll tell you what, just a phenomenal story coming out of the Egyptian camp. This Gabaski, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but he's a 33-year-old journeyman goalkeeper. He might not even be a journeyman, but obviously he's never risen to the point where all of us have talked about him previously. He started this tournament as the reserve, okay? And didn't get his chance until either late in the group stage or maybe in the first round of the knockout rounds. Forget. But since then, this 33-year-old goalkeeper that nobody really knew about, okay, he saved Eric Bailly's penalty versus Cote d'Ivoire, right, versus the Ivory Coast. He had a very solid match versus Morocco, and then he saved 2 penalties versus Cameroon in order to send Egypt to the AFCON final. Like, that type of story is always fun because normally, you bring 3 goalkeepers, you really only ever see one throughout a major tournament. And this time around, Gabaski has come off the bench to be a superstar for Egypt. So I think Senegal, even though Edouard Mendy is pretty A-okay when it comes to these things, I don't know if you're going to want to see Gabaski in a penalty shootout in this AFCON final because he's got momentum, man. He's got momentum. So.
He must be one of the stars. So that's a wonderful story, man. And from reserve to icon. And if they win the AFCON, like, I gotta say that'd be good. But the player of AFCON that I've gotta mention, man, is Aboubakar. Yeah. I think no one can look at Vicente Aboubakar the same way, and I fully expect him to leave where he is in Al Nassr. I know I'm saying it wrong. I'm butchering it. Sorry, fans. But what I mean is, Al Nassr fans. But Aboubakar, man, phenomenal in the tournament. Phenomenal.
I agree. 8 goals, right? 8 goals. He had 2 goals in the Cameroon was down 3-0 to Burkina Faso. Credit to them. They're a story in their own right. But they were down 3-0 to Burkina Faso. Aboubakar came on in the second half, beginning of the second half. He scored 2 late goals. One, the last one, the equalizer, to make it 3-3. And then on top of that, they fight through extra time. They go to penalty kicks. And Aboubakar, he converted his penalty. But unfortunately, and they ended up winning. I'm sorry. Then they ended up winning and getting in third place. But ultimately, I can't think of a better, more perfect tournament from a striker, especially one that was expected to do well. Like, normally you get the expectations heaped on you, especially as the host nation, and then you don't deliver, and then the media concentrates on that. I don't think you can concentrate on anything negative about Vincent Aboubakar's tournament. 8 goals, and I don't even know, that's got to be some sort of a record, no?
It's the strike force, both. I think they surpassed Eto'o strike force. So in terms of goals, so it was Akambi and Aboubakar. So that's he doesn't go to Lyon back the same player too. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Well, that's a question. Where do you think Aboubakar should go? I mean, I know he was in Portugal. Was he in Turkey at all?
Yeah, he went to Turkey. I think it was Besiktas. I'm not sure, but I do think it was Besiktas. But Aboubakar, Serie A, I think would be a good league for him. I think Serie A would take a shot. Bundesliga, I do think they hit the youth a bit more. So, but yeah, I do think the life has changed for Aboubakar, man, for sure. Yeah, for sure. So on AFCON, who were the stars that you were you're hyping me up?
No. I mean, I just wanted to mention, really only talking about those 4 that were left. I got Gabaski. Gabaski is just a hell of a story and one I wanted to bring up, and Aboubakar was another one. But no, we're at the final now. We already did our team of the group stage, and I mean, but it was very nice to see Hakimi and a lot of the stars that were expected to do well. Really did wind up showing up. They had slow starts for the most part. Sadio Mane was not he didn't hit the ground running, but then he's obviously incredibly vital to them now. And then you had some breakout stars. So I don't know, maybe we'll have to pick 1 or 2 and look at them. There were some though I would have loved to have seen more, like Kamaldeen Sulemana and I can't Ilias Mariba. I would have liked to see even more of. But you get that in tournaments. Can't all be. Yeah.
Mesri's coming back to United, and people are hyped up with that. So he's a player that might come with that momentum that you're talking in the AFCON. And he likes Moriba. He went on loan, right? Next to Musa now?
Yeah. Actually, Valencia's starting 11 today on Saturday on Sunday when we're recording. They're front 5, averages an age of 20. And the old head in there is Maxi Gomez, who's 25. But you have Ilias Mariba, who's still 18. Yunus Musa, 19. Who's the other one? Oh, Hugo Guillamon, who's 22, and Brian Gilles. Brian Gilles having a good game for them, as we expected. You get him back in La Liga, he's going to have a good game. It's Premier League he needs to get ready for, you know? And La Liga, in my opinion, doesn't necessarily get you ready for the Premier League. But that's probably a good segue into, you want to like talk about this transfer window at all?
Yes. So let's start. I want to start this because I saw this news and I said, why? Why did it happen, man? Why do the same mistakes keep on happening? And I'm going to mention the two snubs of Man United in this transfer window. And one of them is Denis Zakaria, which is embarrassing that United is snubbing him. And the second is Aboubakar Kamara of Marseille, that it was rumored too that he was snubbed by Man United. And it was like for a fee of 15 million, which 22, one of the best under 23 CDMs in the world, okay?
Yep.
And you are lacking Man United big time a CDM. No, don't think on Declan Rice. It's impossible right now. Think on Denis Zakaria and Aboubakar Kamara. These are the type of players that you don't get too many chances. You're not going to see too many chances like these. And
I mean, even if you threw the 10 million at Zakaria, beyond what Juventus threw at him or something in order to secure his signature, it's just a good business move.
Yes.
I don't care if there's going to potentially be a new boss, during the summer, or whatever. That's just a good business move. It also provides competition in a role that literally every Manchester United fan agrees needs, competition. They need more players. McTominay has picked up a little bit as of late. He's been, better, much better to watch. But ultimately, come on, you're telling me that Aboubakar Kamara can't offer you versatility, not just in the D-mid role, but also at center back, because Aboubakar has played there for Marseille. So I'm with you. But what was the excuse? The excuse was that Ralph Rangnick, there's going to be a new coach, which is just business.
I do think Ralph Rangnick would have if it was. I think there was a bit of touch of the up and ups at Man United, because this is like Ralph Rangnick knows this is an opportunity. He's not going to be like, no, I'm not going to get it. So you mentioned it. That is an underrated fact, the Aboubakar Kamara center back too. Oh, man, I loved it. But I mentioned fast at the start of the pod, Cristiano Ronaldo, 37 years old, man. And I just wanted to say, the more I see things, this guy is hated and hated more and more by the media, man. Cristiano Ronaldo, yes, he had a bad game, but you're not going to put the whole blame on him every single game, okay? I don't want to do this, but, like, does Messi get every single game reports on him if he plays badly? Like, this is getting to a point that, come on, help Cristiano Ronaldo com isto, pá. You know what I mean? So, I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, no, and I'm with you. I just, when was the last time that Cristiano Ronaldo missed the goal completely?
Oh, come on. The penalty. Yeah, it was such bad luck, man. And then you see the shootout penalty. That guy was on him, and then he does that choo-choo. But still.
But more so with Ronaldo, I think it comes with the territory of what are they followed by? Like 100 million plus on Instagram. It just comes with the territory that they're the most talked about. I loved the quote that came from one of the Middlesbrough players. I think it was, I don't know how to say his first name, probably Dale Fry, one of the center backs. Okay. I think he said, like, that was my first time seeing Cristiano Ronaldo up close. He looked fake. He was gorgeous or something. He was just a handsome player. Like, I wasn't expecting him to be that good looking. It's like, that's the type of crap that Cristiano Ronaldo has to deal with. On a regular basis. But ultimately, dude, all I can say is Ronaldo is another year older. Messi is another year older. Neymar is another year older. It's just a firm reminder that whether you despise them for some reason or you love them so much for some reason, at some point this era of Ronaldo, of Messi, of Neymar, this era will end. And but you need to understand, that this is a historic era that we're in. Like, we are graced by the presence of some just absolutely ridiculous footballers that have longevity, that have just how many wow moments have all of these players given us? So I didn't mean to go off on a tangent here in the transfer section.
It won't stop, man.
It leads me to another transfer here, man. The Christian Eriksen transfer to Brentford. Okay. We talked about this on the Twitch live, but Brentford, hey, Christian Eriksen, obviously we all want to see play. Like, we are all now Brentford fans. We're all, just like a lot of us are now Danish football fans. But we all want to see Christian Eriksen come back. But what we're shading over a little bit is how good of a move from a business perspective was this for the Brentford Bees, right? Already, and Brentford, I think it was BT Sport that released this infographic. They said that they had 30 times more demand for Brentford jerseys at this time this year when they announced that the deal with Eriksen than the year prior. 30 times the demand. I mean, that's just ridiculous. So you got to think about it. That is just an amazing move for a Premier League team. A Premier League team that is actually in London. They're in a massive metro area. They could build a following if they play their cards right. That could maybe I don't know, make them a bigger presence and not relegated to the teams of the past. But anyway, Christian Eriksen, I cannot wait to see him take the field in those stripes. And we'll see.
I love that you're mentioning this because I really do believe the Scandinavian market in football is massively underrated. The Danish, the Swedish, the Finnish, like every single country has massive. But the Norwegians, I know this. Like in Norway, every village has a football pitch, and it's not like here in Portugal, like they close the gates. No, it's open. Anyone can go there, and just that culture that you're setting the youth. I know in Germany too, they implemented that too early. So yeah, but that's it. You're right. Brentford did a tremendous move with Eriksen, and I do think it's a leader. It's a leader. It's someone with experience, and people really he's not in the risk of anything. Okay, he always has that tiny risk, of course, but he doesn't play in the Serie A because they really have strict rules with objects inside the body of players. They're like, no. So Premier League allows it. So we're going to see it. And it's in the best stage in football, okay? The biggest stage. And it's the one that, like Eriksen at Tottenham, that was different gravy. People were mentioning Eriksen to go Eriksen would play in every single team in the world when he was in his prime, okay? People would compare Eriksen with Ozil, okay? Ozil was a bad man, okay? For me, Ozil. But yeah, so I love it. I love what you're saying.
So who are some other winners in this transfer market?
I'm not gonna say winners, but okay, winners Inter, okay? And I'm gonna say Inter because Inter are doing something that I do see Sporting do here in Portugal, and it seems to be the best thing to do as a club. It's if you're gonna buy inside your league. You know what I mean? I think yes, Inter they got Gozens, okay? It's a tremendous buy. They're looking inside the league. They are como é que se diz? Enfraquecer. They are weakening Atalanta, okay?
Sure.
And they are putting a tremendous left back, okay, with Gozens and at the right Dumfries, okay? That is massively too underrated. The two fullbacks that balled out in the Euros are now at Inter. Gozens and Denzel Dumfries, man. So, I like it. I think Inter were very smart. Inter. Yeah,
and the Gozens deal, obviously, he's still injured. He's coming back. But Inter is already planning out their left wing back for the future. Because I think Perisic, right, has done a phenomenal job for them this year. But he's also, he's like 33, 34 or something. And he'll probably extend, but you want competition there. And Gozens, but you said it best, like him during the Euros, him for Atalanta when he's healthy, he's just a lot of fun to watch. So that'll be great. But I think, I was a little surprised you said Inter when, we did talk quite a bit on the Twitch about Juve. But yeah, Dusan Vlahović, that signing, them getting that over. I got to ask you, where the heck is Juve getting this money? But at the same time, not even a couple hours later, they wind up selling Dejan Kulusevski and Rodrigo Bentancur to Tottenham for like 40-some million. So, okay, all right, I see it, I guess. But I love it because I wonder, is Vlahović the guy? Is he going to be able to hit the ground running with the expectations on his shoulder that, Roberto Baggio had when I believe he moved from Fiorentina to Juve, right? Am I wrong about that? I think he did, yeah. But this is a big historic move. It's a historic move, I think, for Serbian football as well. And it's going to be really, really cool to see. And then obviously Juventus with the sneaky deal of the transfer window, and that's Zakaria for nothing, for pennies. So I think they're clearly one of the big winners, but at the same time, they ain't anywhere close to the Scudetto right now. So some things have to gel for them to go after Inter and AC Milan, who I believe Milan is red right now, right? AC Milan beat Inter the other day. But anyway, that Vlahović. So you do think Vlahović is going to hit the ground running and he's going to continue his 30-plus goals a year in Serie A?
I think this was the best move for Dusan Vlahović because as a business perspective, he stays in the league that he knows. He equaled Ronaldo's numbers with a team that is not even close to Ronaldo's team at Juventus when he did those numbers. So I have high expectations for him, and I loved the transfer policy of Juventus because they clearly thought, okay, midfield, Denis Zakaria, Locatelli. Okay, Dybala's gonna go. Kulusevski is not the guy, so we need to get a creative mid. They are gonna get someone, I don't know who, but I'm already rumoring João Felix. I'm just putting it out there. Okay, so Chiesa, Dusan Vlahović, João Felix, Locatelli, Denis Zakaria. I don't know, but they are definitely gonna get a player to substitute Dybala because that's gonna be a huge move. That it's Man City. Man City must be eyeing up Paulo Dybala with Julian Alvarez, Guardiola. He must be going bonkers with that. But yeah, big winners. Big winners.
Hey, don't please don't forget to mention Weston McKennie in that Juventus future. And yes, I'm biased here, but he has been one of their best players as of late.
No cap. But I do think that that Juve have a huge market, and I was mentioning here Tottenham fast because imagine he would really fit with this Tottenham team. Okay, with Conte. And I gotta say this: I saw the post conference of or an interview of Conte, and he said, "Oh, 4 players leaving in a transfer window, that isn't normal. Okay, in a January transfer window, that isn't normal." So just the fact that someone is creating these expectations at the club, and you do see Harry Kane scoring, what a banger that was. Okay, and after the game, he's saying Conte is changing this, my guys. Conte is already putting what he wants and implementing the style of play like that he's gonna ball out. Emerson Royal looks totally different. Totally different. Not the same player. Romero's back. So Lloris, that too I think was an underrated move. Lloris extending his contract, okay? Because the goalkeeper is crucial. And there was big doubts and if the goalkeeper spot was going to be with Lloris too next season. And just having that settled, okay, I think Tottenham is moving up. Okay, and the fact that Tottenham is moving up so much, it puts Arsenal with a lot of pressure, man. And they should have got that striker, okay? Because Tottenham with Conte, it's going up and it won't stop.
Yeah, and it seems you're right. Harry Kane has bought in to it, and he's looking like his former self. So we'll see. But yeah, no, I like your shout of Cuti Romero there because it almost feels like he hasn't really hit the ground running with Tottenham yet. Like he was sick, he was injured. The whole weird Copa America thing happened back in the day. Was it Copa America or was it just World Cup qualifiers?
Mm-hmm.
I forget, but that game midweek or earlier this week was he showed his physical self, and his aggression, and that's the type of thing I think Tottenham fans want to see. So definitely a good shout there. Who else in the transfer? I mean, we could talk about a whole lot.
We gotta talk about. I gotta mention this, man. You know I'm a Barca. I love what Barca's doing, man. I gotta say this. I saw two news that I loved it. It was reliable source. Gerard, the Barcelona expert on Twitter, man. He said Laporta already is putting a salary cap, of 10 million in salary for any player that is coming through in the next transfer windows. But we all know there's going to be one exception. There's going to be one exception. And that is for Erling Haaland, okay? Clearly, 100%. I'm confident. I'm more confident than ever. You know why, Breton? I see players like Piqué publicly stating, he stated this, if Mbappe is going to Real Madrid, okay, like Haaland can't win a Ballon d'Or in the same team as him.
Yeah.
He's got a phenomenal point, Piqué. And I think if Gerard Piqué is saying this, it's because he knows Laporta's been talking about Haaland. Yeah. And I believe that Raiola is going to make this happen. It's not even if the money's not there. Raiola will want it. It's the best for Haaland. It's the best for Haaland.
Well, I also heard that Piqué, it might be his last year.
Yes.
And if that's the case, then you're going to need to sign a center back. You're going to need to sign a center back too.
Yes.
And I know the Jules Condés and the Nicolas Soulés of the world are out there. But every team is going to be going after them. Mm-hmm. And we all know that Antonio Rudiger is probably headed to Real Madrid. So at what point are you going to need to focus on that defense before you focus on Haaland? Now you've got Aubameyang. You've got Adama Traore. I think is starting his first game today. You've got a new look. Interesting. I'm just going to call it interesting roster. We'll see if they actually gel, and then you mix in all the young kids that are going to progress exponentially if handled right by Xavi. So it's. I don't know, man. I mean, them breaking their thing for Erling Haaland, while I understand it, it's just one of those things where, like, come on. I just don't understand the financials behind it. But then again,
I get you. But like at the center back, Ronald Araújo's already there, okay, and that would have been a massive transfer that they would have to do to get a player like him. So, but you mentioned it, the pace that has been brought in this January transfer window to Barcelona, this attacking trio of Ousmane Dembele that managed to stay, I don't know how, Aubameyang at the fourth, and then Adama Traore. Pace, put that long ball and let it happen, man. That's what I gotta say. Yeah. But
I know that it's been talked about previously, but we all remember Aubameyang and Ousmane Dembele at the Dortmund years. And if I could see even a fraction of that again, that would be a lot of fun. But yeah.
Do you I fully reckon that Dembele and Aubameyang talked to each other, and Dembele was like, "You're coming? You are coming to Barca? I'm staying. Yeah. I'm staying. No. Agent, stop it. Agent, no prem. I'm staying here with Aubameyang here at Barcelona." Man, this is legit. If this is the talk, this is madness. This is madness. So, like, no wonder Barca fans are going to be fuming. No wonder. I got to say that, because that money could be used on, saving up for Haaland.
It's needed. Needed. I mean, I feel like you can't bring in Haaland unless Dembele moves. Or unless you somehow sell De Jong for 100 million.
Fact. But that's exactly. Facts. Exactly. They can't bring Haaland if Dembele and Umtiti. Man, he's got he got a salary cut, but that guy is earning big time still, more than 200K a week still. Yeah, Man, that should be the center back next to Ronaldo. If that guy's earning that. So Umtiti too, salary cut or not, I'm still shouting it out. It still needs to go. But I had a question about. I saw a comment here about Nagelsmann of football in general, and he said that like football in the future, one day, if one day the superstar has as an American football has like the headphones, what do you think about all that talk? Like improving football and putting a headset with the players talking to the coach. Nagelsmann's hitting on this big time.
Interesting. So basically like NFL.
Yeah.
The QB being able to talk to his coach with play calling and all that interesting stuff. Whatever. I don't know. I mean,
Lewandowski's Nagelsmann loves Lewandowski so much he wants to talk to him on a headset.
I mean, I guess I don't know. What are you going to call an audible? You're going to then how do you does everyone have an earpiece? Does Lewandowski run, all around the pitch and tell everybody what's happening? I'm confused as to how that would work. But then again,
my days. Yeah, imagine if football, everyone had an earpiece. That'd be like Counter-Strike.
That would be odd.
That would be like, go to the left, everybody going.
Yeah. I mean, it would basically just look like players talking to themselves on the national broadcasts. You'd be like, these guys are crazy. But I don't know. I didn't even see that quote. But Nagelsmann already trying to revolutionize football, I guess, Yeah. The guy's barely 30 and he's already talking about earpieces and whatnot. But you know something. Everything's going that direction in terms of data and in terms of access and in terms of all that stuff. But anyway, moving forward, what other transfers did you want to chat?
In the transfers, I didn't have. I think we've hit the run. We hit the run. Like Mohamed Iataren, that could be a good mention coming back to Ajax. For me, that's one of the most underrated moves. That's gonna be what? So
Well, I just hope it works out. And we did talk about a lot of the transfers on our Twitch. But the one thing that is a future transfer that we're probably going to have to watch out for is, did you see who PSG left off their Champions League squad?
No.
Wijnaldum. Wijnaldum.
Oh, yeah.
He's not going to be playing Champions League football. And to me, it just seems like an opportunity missed for Newcastle. Newcastle could have gone in, gotten him on loan or something like that, and offered him,
I think Genie didn't want it. Didn't want it, man. I think we're having an Alex Song, Barcelona, Arsenal move type moment. Like, I'm in Paris. I'm enjoying it. Like, this is what it looks like, at least. But I know, why not? But to be fair, too, Wijnaldum has played a couple of quality games for PSG. So that was a bit. Yeah, I agree with you. That was a bit.
He was in the prime of his career, and now he's turning into like the Julian Draxler of PSG, where he.
That's a good.
Sorry, that's just mean. I actually like Julian Draxler.
Even Lucas Moura. Do you remember like Lucas Moura going to PSG and now like he's at Tottenham? Like, but before at São Paulo, Lucas Moura was like a menace. People were hyping him up next level. He was the Anthony at Ajax type beat, Lucas Moura. Yeah. So it's but something I have to mention too, and you put him in the underrated 11. It's De Gea. De Gea won the best player in the Premier League award. That was a big time thing. And it was the first time that a keeper won it. De Gea. The first time for a keeper won it since 2016. David De Gea, man. Big time stat. Big time stat.
And he's showing it again and again right now. In fact, he's probably one of the most consistent performers on that United team. And he certainly wasn't the reason why they lost to Middlesbrough the other day. But anyway, all right, so we're moving on from transfers. Done. January is closed. I mean, I know we didn't talk about all the different transfers, but that happened on our Twitch. Where do you want to head to next? I mean, I gotta say, have you been watching Olivier Giroud lately?
Yep. The comeback. Yeah, the comeback against Inter. I was expecting Inter to win it, and all of a sudden, 70th minute kicks in. Giroud
Yeah.
goes bold.
Yeah, and he's got 7 goals and 8 starts this year. Okay. And there's kind of a juxtaposition that's happening here. I watch Olivier Giroud essentially make Milan red. 2 goals. They win 2-1. Again, he's 35 years old. He's still making an impact. And then I watched Romelu Lukaku play against Plymouth. Was it Plymouth? Yeah, yep. Plymouth Argyle. Okay. And he just looks disinterested. And listen, I know that they're not whatever, but keeping Giroud around would have been, in my opinion, or keeping Tammy Abraham around, although you get $40 million for Tammy, you get that done. But Olivier Giroud, keeping him around another year at Chelsea should have been done, right? I mean, right now, Lukaku almost looks like he needs competition at Chelsea. Am I wrong? I mean, he looks disinterested. I mean, his game, I get it. It's against Plymouth Argyle, nothing against Plymouth. In fact, I want one of their jerseys because you don't see jerseys that green all the time. But he just didn't. He should be bossing those center backs. I mean, but he was, I wouldn't say pocketed. He was definitely kept to a minimum. I mean, kept neutralized against Plymouth. And yeah, Chelsea ended up getting it done. But Lukaku, I think, is his own worst enemy right now. And am I wrong about this? Am I off base? Or do you feel it?
No, you're right on the money, man. And Tuchel must be feeling like I missed out with Lukaku. It's not working out. Okay, I'm not going to say Lukaku flop, but Lukaku's definitely having challenges that he's not winning. Performing well. He's definitely not performing well for Chelsea. Maybe something's happening outside the pitch that we don't know. But that interview too, that was suspicious, man. You know, the whole environment at the start, Chelsea fans were putting him on a pedestal. Everything was hyped up. Clips of him saying, "Oh, I'm back home," saying, "Oh, I dreamed one day to play at Stamford Bridge." Lukaku, big hype, like Man United with Pogba type beat, Yeah. So I don't get it, man. It's always Pogba at the Lukaku at the top. He falls, man. He falls. Yeah. It falls. Like at United, he falls.
It's tough. You know what? I didn't mean to take the respect that we have for Olivier Giroud and tie it into a Lukaku what if scenario. But Giroud doing that for AC Milan. I mean, anywhere Giroud goes, it just feels like he's just a guy you want, right? Yeah. He comes off the bench and he gives everything he's got. He understands his limits. He understands his strengths. And Lukaku, I think it's one of those things where it almost feels as if he thinks he's a whole lot better than he actually is.
That could be a point. That's his
first touch was horrendous against Plymouth. I mean, he was getting bodied by guys he should not get bodied by, and I want to see it work out. I mean, we've seen Lukaku at his best at Inter. Should have never left. You should have never left. I get why you did, but then you're talking about Giroud, and it feels like Giroud was like unloaded unceremoniously for like pennies, and the guy, I don't know. It's like Dzeko at Inter Milan. Going there for pennies. It's Giroud going to AC Milan and having an impact, and Lukaku not doing the same in the opposite direction. So,
but I still gotta say this, man. Chelsea they offload Giroud. They sell Tammy Abraham for $40 million. They sell Mark Gahey. They still managed to get the money to justify the funding of like Lukaku. So it's just sad to see, man, that they pulled the trigger and it's not working. But Armand Broja, I'm not hinting. I really feel it's going to happen next summer back at Chelsea. And maybe Albanian fans and Chelsea fans get hyped. He's coming. Armand Broja, he'll play at Chelsea, man. And Lukaku, watch out. Watch out, because this kid is a finisher.
He is. And I know he left the Southampton game the other day because of a clash of knees, and everybody was very worried about his ACL or whatever. I don't even know what's come of that, but we're hoping that he's good and as good as new. But yeah, he very clearly has a future. And Ralph Hasenhuttl, can't say his name, but the Southampton boss knows that as well, and he's trying to secure Broha for the future for Southampton, and I think he's going to wind up getting priced out there. But yeah, Broha does definitely have a future. Otherwise, yeah, if Lukaku doesn't work out, I don't know. How do you offload him? Where do you go? That's a big price to pay for it if it doesn't work out. But anyway, I got to bring up something. I've been, La Liga has been very interesting because that's one of the tighter races at the top. And I was looking at the La Liga table and also watching some of the Real Betis, Real Sociedad game the other day. And that was Copa del Rey. But I got to say, Manuel Pellegrini, since he has taken over at Real Betis, it is impressive, dude. I mean, he just punched their ticket to the Copa del Rey semis. He's got them, I believe, in 3rd or 4th place. And you ready for this? They have only offloaded, I think they've only brought in one player, maybe, like one big player for like any sort of money. And I'm trying to remember who the heck it was. It was like German Petzela or something, a center back for like 3 million euros. They brought in Bellerin on loan. They brought in William Jose on loan. They brought in Juan Miranda on loan. I don't even think he played. And he brought in 55+ million euros selling Lo Celso, Antonio Sanabria, Emerson Royal, right, to Barcelona, which was kind of predestined. But it's, for all intents and purposes, it's kind of a cut rate squad. And he finished 6th last year with European competition. And he's currently in line to finish in the top 4. And he's in the Copa del Rey semifinals with Juanmi, with 16 goals this year, 12 goals in La Liga, with Borja Iglesias, with Nabil Fekir, who used to play for Lyon.
Yes.
We probably remember him. So these are not players that you look at and say, this is cream of the crop, like La Liga's best. But he is punching, I just got to say it, he is punching well above his weight at Betis. And it's kind of fun to see, I mean, the old guy maybe does have some new tricks. Cool.
Underrated player, man. You mentioned it. Liverpool fans know. You were so close to getting Nabil Fekir from Lyon, okay? But yeah, that was an interesting move. I remember at the time talking to you, I was like, is it the injury? What happened?
Yeah.
How does he go to Betis? But Bellerin, he winded up, how does he go to Betis too? But they seem to know, and it's going really well. And you're mentioning Athletic Bilbao. They managed to eliminate Real Madrid. That was a big moment too. Bilbao is an underrated team in the world of football, man. And I love the Basque policy, keeping the players. It's so interesting how they still manage to have such a good competitive team, world class in the skill that it is. So
yeah. But I also got to bring up that their vanquishing of Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey. That would avenge their Supercopa final loss to them. But they have also beaten Barcelona, and they've also beaten they beat Barcelona in Copa del Rey, and then they beat Real Madrid, and they also beat Atletico Madrid in the Supercopa. So these guys, again, another La Liga team punching well above their weight. I think it's Marcelino who coaches them. But yeah, that policy, come on. There's no better story probably in La Liga right now. No more heartwarming story than Nico Williams and Inaki Williams, definitely. Right? And how underrated, in my opinion, is Iker Muniain. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Iker Muniain. Oh, my days. Yes.
That guy's a baller and has been for years.
Oh, the Europa League fixtures against Man United. That guy was a man. Ferguson was quaking. I think it was at the time, right? Like, that was amazing. I was thinking he was 21. It was Inaki. Inaki was there, but Muniain was like the guy. And Bernat. Was it Bernat?
Yeah.
In midfield? Oh, man. That team. De Marcus. Oh, you're giving me the flashbacks. Aduriz.
Yes. Place
man.
I want to get to, man, too. I've never been to the Basque region in Spain, and I got to get there. I would really, really love to go. And I guess I now want to see a Bilbao game because, man, I don't know. They're a lot of fun. And this is all in 2022. They've beaten Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Atletico Madrid all in 2022 so far. They still got some work to do in La Liga because 2021 start was not so great, but it it has been fun to watch. I don't get a chance to watch a whole lot of Spanish football because it's not necessarily like prevalent over here, but it is gaining thanks to ESPN Plus, and like we just being able to watch that turn me on to Real Betis and to Athletic Bilbao. And you know what I love about Manuel Pellegrini at Betis, though? I know we're jumping back and forth, is that he still doesn't give time to Diego Lainez. That's terrible to say, but as a U.S. men's national team fan, Diego Lainez just for some reason always gives us starts and fits when we play Mexico.
Yeah.
And for some reason, he just can't get a lot of playing time under Pellegrini. And if I was a nice, respectable human being, I would wish differently for Lainez, but I'm okay. Stunt the kid's growth.
Well, because of the moment. But it's Lainez, man. Put him at Braga, he would play. He'd play, or maybe in the top. Yeah, he'd play. Jan Couto. Jan Couto is coming up too. He's coming off the bench too. So yeah, Galeno's gone to Porto. So yeah, Braga. Watch out. Yeah. But you mentioning underrated teams in La Liga, and I have to say this. I don't like this guy a lot too much. I'm already having smoke with Lopetegui because Lopetegui, when he was here in Portugal, he was a bit non-conventional with Porto with some of his decisions. But he sticks with his guns. He believes in Oliver. I believe in Oliver Torres. The kid's a baller too. But Sevilla, it's working out tremendously well. Lopetegui was always an excellent defensive coach, okay? His teams don't suffer a lot of goals, but I'm going to get to my point. Sevilla are going to be a good team, no doubt, a top 3, top 4 maybe, top 3 maybe, top 4 definitely in La Liga, and they'll win Europa League too because it's the final is in their stadium. Okay, so Sevilla are going to be hitting hard to win Europa League, as they always do. Not with Unai Emery now with Lopetegui. But I got to say, they will never get the clinch with Lopetegui. Because when it's to get to that stage, that winning stage that is prevalent in the rebuild start, get Lopetegui. Good decision. But to get the win, no. It's good. So, good. I just wanted to say that, man. Because they're getting to that stage. Conte's going. Carlos going to leave. So
well, I think it's almost a miniature coup that Lopetegui was able to hold on to both Koundé and Diego Carlos in January, because obviously both are coveted. But I don't know how you hold on to them through the summer, and there's likely going to be a revamp at Sevilla, but man, that's a good shot. I mean, Sevilla is going for it. They are going to give Real Madrid all that they can. And you don't think it's going to get done is what it sounds like.
No. I think Real Madrid are going to secure it. I really do think, because the team's a different level, I really believe it. But I have a big if that we don't know what's going to happen against PSG on the 15th. I know we're going to be live on Twitch, but the rest I don't know. So, but let's see. But you want to mention Wonderkids now? Go bold with the Wonderkids.
We can move on to Wonderkids. You want to start with the negative of the Wonderkids? No, I mean, I just got to bring it up, right? It was heartwarming to see the United players run right over to Anthony Elanga after that. It was not Anthony Elanga's fault that game was lost because let's be honest, Manchester United, you were playing a championship team. You were playing Middlesbrough. You couldn't create enough chances. You couldn't get it done. You should have gotten it done before a penalty kick shootout. And Anthony Elanga, the 8th person taking a shot. So Anthony Elanga has been nothing but one of the most focused and electric players for United when he's come on. And he's still got a long way to go. So it was nice to see, Ronaldo go over and put his arm around him. A lot of the guys just rushed to him. But what was not nice to see was the fact that he was obviously abused online afterwards. So that's just some complete and utter BS that just needs to get out of this fandom. These people that are obsessed with their clubs, that they feel the need to abuse the players of their club. It makes makes my blood boil that we're in 2022 and we even need to deal with this crap. again, fandom does not mean, utter fanaticism, even though fan is part of fanaticism. It does not mean just blindly chasing the badge and destroying anyone that did anything negative in a shirt. It pisses me off. But anyway, kudos to Anthony Elanga. You're going to bounce back. You're going to I'm sure be a good player moving forward, and I hope everybody is reminding him of that.
I think you're totally right. Like, no abuse should be suffered, especially if you're just playing football, man. What harm are you causing to the world? You know what I mean? So it's ridiculous that that's the case. You're only causing happiness to those fans. Yeah. But yeah, I agree with you. Elanga has an elite work rate. The kid is going to work out. Maybe if it's not a Man United, he'll work out with someone else. But Swedish fans, be hyped because what a player you have for the future. Anthony Elanga. But Ronaldo coming forwards, giving those. I think that happens to Elanga too, because the demands are different now at Man United. The moment you have players like Bruno Fernandes with the stats that he had last season, Cristiano Ronaldo coming in, that it was a decision not to go to City, come to Man United, the demands are totally different. So, yeah. But I want to go on a positive with the United game. Well, two things. The Middlesbrough goal didn't exist, okay? That was clearly a handball. And that was, for me, it's crazy that goal was validated, okay? It happened. It happened. But it was very suspicious, okay, that the VAR just let it go. I don't know what happened there. But Middlesbrough, the guy touched the hand. And the other thing is Sancho. Sancho scored his first goal in Old Trafford. And let's see if it's the start of a special chapter, okay? So... It's Ralph Ragnar must have loved it. It's good for Sancho to get on the goal tally, and it's the start of something special. But they should have secured that seat. Well, it's been, and I said I was going to get positive after that negative with Elanga, but it's been like 550 million pounds spent, almost 5 years, and United is still looking for a trophy. So, I do think that you're only going up from here. And I do think that, the things are in place. But, some of these games, you just feel like, okay, we can get angry about the handball, right? Yep. If you're a United fan. But at the same time, you're not creating as many chances as you should be creating against a Middlesbrough. Yep. It's just that simple, 200%. And nothing against Borough. But ultimately, like, you should be pinging the crossbar 15 times a game. Maybe not. But it's going to be a while. It's going to be a process. And I got a point that we can connect you with the Man United, because I think the big difference of Man United when Ronaldo comes in and when Ronaldo comes back in, it's that United, when he came first into Man United was a team of winners. Was a team with a culture of, we're going to each game to win it. It's not just to go, it's to win it and to be vocal that we are the best in the league. Now, that pressure, that demand is non-existent, okay? Players like Ibra are saying that they have a small club mentality, okay? And if Ibra is saying that, he's been around a lot of clubs in the world, okay? We all know Ibra likes the Juve, Inter, Milan, PSG. He goes around Barcelona. He's got experience, and he's saying United is a small club right now, mentality. So I'm going to say this now. There is a club that is not the small club mentality in the Premier League, and it's Liverpool, because this culture, okay, that Ronaldo went to Man United with, I see players like Harvey Elliott that are surrounded themselves with winners. I'm going to say this. Harvey Elliott might be a future starter for England because of this mentality and this. He's always been winning a Champions League. He's surrounded himself with winners. And that's the point I want to get. Liverpool youngsters are going to improve much more than others because they're with winners. So, hey, kudos to Harvey too. I don't know if everyone, if people miss this at all, but
He was injured back in September. It was serious. 5 months out with injury, rehabbing, getting back there. We all know how tough that is. He not only got his first minutes in this FA Cup game, he also scored a very, very nice goal. So kudos to Harvey, and hopefully he's picking up right where he left off. I mean, I know within 3 games at the beginning of the season, he had won Jurgen Klopp over. And then that terrible injury. So I think he's going to continue to hit the ground running. And, Luís Diaz didn't look so bad himself.
Yes, but Harvey Elliott was a magician the whole game. The goal, he was. I know Klopp. It must be thinking 5 months out, and he looks even better, Harvey Elliott. At least in that game. So let's see. But yes, you're saying it. Luís Diaz. And I'm going to say it again. I fully expect Sadio Mane to be out of the 11 at the end of the season. Luís Diaz is coming to get that spot, okay? And I think it's going to be clear. I really believe in it, Breton. I really believe in it. It's going to work out.
I think Liverpool fans probably have to get used to the fact that whether it's the starting 11 near the end of the year or somebody thinking well beyond it, it sounds like Luís Diaz might be in there solely to replace the long-term exit of whether it's Mo Salah because they can't come to a deal or Sadio Mane. One of them likely will not be here next year. So you can look at that as a positive. You can look at that as a negative. But ultimately, the fact that they thought well ahead enough to bring in a guy like Diaz and incentivize him properly to hit the ground running.
Salah,
that'll be fun.
Salah can't be the case, man. Please. No, man.
Be tough. I don't know how you don't give Salah the money he wants to lock him up. I don't know how much. I don't know the finances, but I do know.
It's 400,
I do know.
Supposedly.
Salah deserves whatever the hell he's going to get. So give it to him. But anyway, we're not talking about Wonderkids anymore. So I'm going to pop over, man. I saw Marcus Leonardo score 2 goals for Santos. Versus Corinthians in the Paulista. And, that in and of itself is not that crazy. But I really do feel like Marcus Leonardo is primed and his compatriot, Angelo Gabriel. I do think they're primed to do really well. But then I started going down the rabbit hole of Brazilian attackers, under the age of 20. Because we're all looking at Vinicius right now, right? We're all looking at him at his ripe age of 21, 22. And below him are guys that could develop into just as scary of talents. Whether it's Leonardo, whether it's Angelo Gabriel, whether it's Martinelli, Yuri Alberto, who just moved over to Zenit. Whether it's João Pedro at Watford, who has shown some things, or even younger guys like Savio and Giovanni. I started going down that rabbit hole, and I'm like, this just happens it's just amazing. It's just this self-replenishing bevy of talent that Brazil can create. And I look at the same thing on the Argentine side, and you expect to see more attackers, more, just solid, whether it's wingers or strikers. And really, there's not as much there. There's really not as much there. Now, it could be the hype machine, but I'm just so impressed at Leonardo, there's just so many. And I feel like we could almost dedicate a whole live to talking about the young Brazilian attackers that are coming through right now. So, Marcus Leonardo is already off the mark. I know it's not, the actual, how do you say it? Brasilia Real? How do you say that?
Brasileirão, o Brasileirão. I can say Portuguese. Brasileirão. Oh, Brasileirão.
Yeah, I gotta try it.
They go bold, man. The Brazilians, they go bold with the accent. But you're mentioning too, Rodrigo. I gotta say, Rodrigo scored his first goal for the Brazil national team. And I agree with you, Breton. The Brazil always have mad talents, and it's Brazil C team legit competes in the Euros. So it's always a madness with Brazil, man. And I gotta say too, Hendrick, man, the hype machine with Hendrick at Palmeiras. They won the Copinha, with Hendrick, and 15 years old, 2006 born, okay. And I'm gonna say this. I see Vini Jr. already sending shirts to him, and I'm gonna say it, and I think it's right what's gonna come out of this, and it's Papa Perez is going to secure the deal with Hendrick, man. The trauma of the Neymar deal is there.
Right.
It's still there. And yeah, I fully believe that Hendrick is going to go to Real Madrid. And look, it might be Vinicius Junior or it might be Reinier Jesus that right now is forgotten. That I hope he comes back, okay, in form. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, this Hendrick thing, let's all slow our roll. There's no doubt that he is promising as all get out. But man, when you said 2006, born in 2006, goodness. I just think, I think, yeah, he'll, let's let him live his life for a little while. But yeah, I think Real Madrid's going to land him for 30 million, in the next half a year or something. So just wait for that to happen. But yeah, that's interesting.
You mentioned too, like the Brazil. I gotta say too, like Mohamed Kudus is gonna play back now at Ajax. He's back, so it's gonna be hyped up. It's good. It's really good player, Mohamed Kudus. We didn't see him in the AFCON. That would have been good, but he's back at Ajax, so that's good. But leading up to what I want is Anthony. Okay, I see the news, and when you see a transfer rumor, you just feel like it's the right one. I feel like that's the right one. And it's Mbappe. We all know he's going to Real Madrid. And you said too, Rudiger is going to Real Madrid too. Guys, locked in. But Anthony might be the replacement going to PSG. I see rumors of 60 million for Anthony. And look, I'm going to say it. PSG are keeping it safe. And it's a good deal. Okay, it's not Mbappe levels, but you're getting a pretty good winger, okay? And yeah, reminds me of Lucas Moura deal.
Yeah. Well, no, Anthony to PSG. Wow, that'd be fun. And if I were Ajax, I would take that money. I would if you're talking 60 million, and plus with the talent you got, well, they just offloaded Neres. So what was that? That was like 18. So you get 80 for two Brazilian wingers. Pretty good. And I'm sure you've got others that are already in your young Ajax squad. Yes. But man, I don't know. It was just amazing to me. And I know we're jumping around. It was just amazing to me how just unimpressive Ghana was in terms of showing up for the AFCON. And yeah, it would have been nice to see Kudus. It would have been nice to have seen more Kamaldeen Sulemana. But doesn't change the fact that they do have a very, very bright future. Sulemana at Rennes, and Kudus at Ajax. But man, fun. But you know who else has been fun? And I know I wore a Rangers jersey the last podcast just to boil some blood out there. But Lyle Abada is a very, very interesting talent. And I know you were live for the Old Firm when what was it? It was Reo Hatate, one of the new guys from Japan, and Lyle Abada just tearing them apart. Well, he's doing it again today. Lyle Abada earlier this morning on Sunday, I believe he already has a goal and 2 assists, and he's already looking well beyond the SPFL. Like he shouldn't be in the Scottish Premiership. He should be elsewhere. But he's only 20, Israeli winger. He has really hit that ground running.
One of the most underrated wingers in the world of football right now. Okay? He's 20 years old. And when I saw that Old Firm derby, people were commenting, watch Abada. I'll be honest. I knew the name. I didn't know the skill. The guy is really good, man. Iliel Abada is a baller, okay? He had a goal and an assist that game. And then I see Rio Atate, which I was hyped up with Jota. But this guy scored 2 goals and had an assist. And he got me hyped up for Japan's future. So it was really nice to see. And it seems like Celtic, before the summer, they were like shambolic looking. Now you have Lil Abada bowling, Rio Atate there, Jota bowling, and there's another winger too, Japanese winger bowling.
Furuhashi.
Did you see? So they got all the solutions done. And Celtic fans must be hyped up, man.
They must. They got Matt O'Reilly was a great signing from the lower leagues in England. He just slotted right in his first 3-4 games. I think he's already won the whole Celtic fan base over. And then I got to shout out Cameron Carter-Vickers, who has been bounced around. You know, he was Mr. loaned out of Tottenham every year to like 50 different teams. and Cameron Carter-Vickers has found himself a home at Celtic Park. And I'm excited to see it because I think he's only 22 or 23. We need center back depth, U.S. men's national team.
Yes.
And you know, him
good.
playing for that rabid fan base, him trying to win back what Celtic had every year, which was the Scottish Premiership title. They have a chip on their shoulder again for the first time in not a long time, but for the first time in a little while since Stevie Gerrard made Rangers relevant again. So
I agree with you.
I'm excited to see the Celtic team. They just took over that table with the Old Firm win, and it'll be interesting. But
win.
Yeah,
they're gonna win.
Something. Yeah, I think. I mean, the momentum
Celtics
definitely
gonna win
it right now. I think you're right.
I'm more leaning there. Like, I was disappointed. Amad Diallo, okay, he just arrived. Yanezagi wasn't there. That is true too. But I was a bit disappointed with Rangers in that game, I'll be honest with you. The style of play, I was thinking to myself, Braga would ball out against this Rangers team, and they would win. And even Guimarães, that beat Braga, would beat this Rangers team. Celtic, no, they're playing well. But,
all right, well, why don't we use our very little influence and schedule a Portugal versus Scotland tournament? No, I think Scottish football is always interesting to watch. But what is cool in this transfer window? There were a lot of players going on loan, or younger players heading to different teams, and a lot of Americans that have actually just jumped into the Premiership, like Joe Efford and some others. I'm going to be watching it more because of that, even if the football is not necessarily up to snuff. What you can't take away from Scottish football, though, is the passion. The passion is like pretty unrivaled there and pretty impressive because, so I'd love to know more. But
finishing the Wonderkids news on my end, man, I have to say this, man. The Fabio Carvalho deal falling through for Liverpool. I don't know if he's going to play for Liverpool. Because he scored against Man City, okay? And he's got, right now, 8 goals and 4 assists in all competitions, okay? And I fully believe that Fabio Carvalho is going to play and is going to be a really good player in world of football, man. Because Fabio Carvalho's got the touch, he's got elite movement, and he left Benfica and he stayed at Fulham all that time. Stayed up. It's like people forgot about him here in Portugal, and now everybody's like, oh, wow. So I think the only cards that Liverpool have is like Harvey Elliott is very good friends with Fabio Carvalho. But if you ask me, would it be better for Fabio Carvalho to go to Dortmund, that they have the interest, or Liverpool?
Well, Dortmund.
I don't know. You know what I mean? So I think this is what Klopp had to say after. He's blamed about it. After Fabrizio says, here we go. Fabio Carvalho to Liverpool, like it's everybody knows about it. And Klopp said, we are obviously still interested. It will be crazy if not. That says it all about Fabio Carvalho, man. The kid is a baller. What a player.
The kid is a baller, and Fulham has created and developed and nurtured a good one there. And it'll be nice to see. I mean, Fulham has had in the past some great academy stars come out of there. I mean, Harvey Elliott at one point was there, right?
Yeah.
I would love for Fulham once again to be a Premier League team that stays in the Premier League, not one of these serial, league hoppers. Promotion, relegation. But Fabio Carvalho has a phenomenal talent, and I think you're going to wind up seeing them get that over the finish line in the summer. And I think Carvalho only really is going to want to go to Liverpool. But what do I know? All I know right now is that Dortmund is getting absolutely spanked by Leverkusen thanks to Florian Wirtz. So I don't know. Maybe that keeps him away. They're losing 4-1. 4-1, dude.
You're mentioning it.
Barcelona is up 3-1 on Atletico.
I love it. Who scored the Barca one?
You're going to love this. Ronaldo Araujo.
Yes!
We've got Jordi Alba scored the first. Gavi scored the second, assisted by no other than Adama the Tank Traore. And then Araujo's got the 43rd minute goal. So we're looking at a 3-1 lead at halftime.
That's bold, man. But do you want to lead up to the last topic with the best under 23?
Yeah. The only other thing I do have to say is I am really, really excited with. There has been. We were talking about Brazilian talents. We were talking about Argentinian talents and maybe the lack thereof. But you got to take a look and start combing around in Major League Soccer. The season starts at the end of this month, February 26th, starting earlier because of the World Cup. They are picking up some of the next big stars. It's becoming a stepping stone league. And I know we're looking at, for the Savios and the Yuri Albertos and the João Pedros and all these Brazilians. But over in MLS, you will find a lot of Uruguayan talent, a lot of Venezuelan, a lot of Ecuadorian. So Facundo Torres landed from Penarol to Orlando City, and Penarol has Valverde, Diego Rossi, Brian Rodriguez, Nahiten, I don't know if I say his name, Nandez. Then you've got Alan Velasco, who is one of the top-rated midfielders in Argentina recently, heading to FC Dallas. They used a bunch of that Ricardo Pepe money. Sebastian Ferreira, one of the top Paraguayan attackers, heading to Houston for $4 million. David Ayala, a D-mid from Argentina, heading to the Portland Timbers. You've got just a bunch of young South American prospects. If you want to stay up on those guys looking to take that next step, and who will likely wind up then in Europe in the near future, watch MLS this season, because this is what the league has, in my opinion, intelligently positioned themselves as. The stepping stone league is not a bad place to be for the time being. And Facundo Torres, if you haven't seen him, he's a very, very solid talent. Already part of the Uruguayan national team. Velasco and Ayala are two I'm also incredibly, incredibly excited about. So write them down and watch them in MLS this season, and I don't think you'll be disappointed.
There you go. Even I was shocked when Magno went to the MLS. I was like, wow, Magno.
So here's a big reason why they won MLS Cup. So we'll see.
It can go really well. So people, tell me, who's gonna be the best players in the MLS next season, man? I'm hyped up. Okay, like you mentioned Alan Velasquez. I didn't even know that he went there.
Yes.
Oh my days, that was a bold transfer. But yeah, the Pepe money for sure. But leading up here to our last topic, man, we gotta say it. Best under 23 11, okay, and it's right now this season. I know we're gonna have some players here that I might be biased of the form, not this season. So you want to start?
Wait, you biased? There's no way.
Well, it's not biased. It's just I can't I can't forget how good they were. So sure. I have to mention them even with the low games this season. I gotta say those.
Okay. All right. Well, then you know me. I will be the one that sticks solely to form,
exactly,
as it stands right now. So yeah, good. Then we'll have some differences, I think. But what we're doing right now is we're doing the U23 best 11 of the season so far. And I think we got to start at goalkeeper. Who is your goalkeeper?
Gigi Donnarumma. Okay, and I'm just gonna say, I know it was last season too, but like the Euros, all that top form, leading up to PSG, goes to PSG. I still believe fully in Champions League football, that he has performed well in Champions League games. He's going to be there. And Real Madrid will be facing Gigi Donnarumma at PSG. So for me, he's my guy, Donnarumma.
Yeah, and you obviously can't deny the talent there. But for me, I'm going to go based on form this season. And maybe this is part of the mea culpa. This is part of like me apologizing for you and I ever doubting this transfer. But my goalkeeper is Aaron Ramsdale. And I think that the 10 clean sheets in the Premier League kind of speak for themselves. I think the wearing your heart on your sleeve speaks for itself, and the promise of maybe one day becoming the top goalkeeper for England heading into the World Cup. I don't know if it's too soon, but there's no doubt Ramsdale has earned his keep, earned his fandom, earned his excitement at the Gunners. So yeah, goalkeeper so far, Aaron Ramsdale for me.
Yeah, you mentioned it. We were hard on Ramsdale because of the fee, but he's proven us wrong, man. You're right. Yep. You're right. So defense. Now, I'm going to say, at the left, Nunes. Okay, I still believe. Because Fonzie Davies injured, man. So you know what I mean? So It's
Yeah.
clear Nunes, and the player that I was doubting, I would have put Cucurella too. I think he's in
Yeah.
really good form, but I go Nunes still. Then at the two center backs, I go simple. Best under 23 center backs in my opinion right now in form. Ronald Araújo, okay, and Jules Koundé. And then at the right, Trent. So my defense right now has Donnarumma, Nunes, Ronald Araújo, Koundé, and at the right, Trent. There you go.
Yeah.
So
All right.
Defense.
Okay. Well, we have a difference in opinion on the left back, which is going to be probably the way for the near future. But I still have Fonzie Davies because even though he has been sidelined with these heart things, and we hope he's back soon. He was almost back to his previous form, right? I mean, he had already racked up 6 assists. He was looking good in the Champions League. He was just part of the Bayern machine all over again. But if not Alphonso Davies, I would have put, and this is kind of a weird one, although I love Cucurella and I think he's incredibly and massively underrated. I really think David Raum for Hoffenheim it deserves a shout. 2 goals, 6 assists, 23 years old. He's worked his way into the German national team conversation. I mean, that's pretty damn good. And if you're not going to go with Raum, Sergio Gomez deserves a shout at Anderlecht.
Yes.
13 assists, 6 goals. He wasn't born a left back, right? He's kind of worked into that role. So I got a lot of backups there, a lot of caveats. But in the end, I still have to go with Davies, and I hope he's back soon. Our center backs are almost the same. I wrestled with Ronaldo Araujo because I actually do think it should be Jules Koundé and Ronaldo Araujo. But I still went with Jurrien Timber just because how effortless he's made being his age and how good he has looked. And I understand there is a difference in quality between La Liga and what Barcelona is going through and in the Eredivisie, but he's been phenomenal in the Champions League as well for Ajax. So I put, because I had a feeling you were going to put Araujo, I put Jurrien Timber just because he certainly deserves a shout. And the fact that he deserves a shout beyond the Sven Botmans and the William Saliba, who has been solid. Yeah. And Bastoni. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yep. Just shows me, the promise that we think he's going to provide and grow into. But at some point, he's going to need to take that next step from Ajax to another club. And I just wonder when that's going to be. And then my right back is Trent Alexander-Arnold. And I don't even want to get into this conversation because, if you go down the rabbit hole of he can't defend, he can't do this.
that's
come on.
That's cap. That's cap.
It is. It is cap. But Hakimi's been pretty damn good as of late. But I think in terms of consistency, Alexander-Arnold, I mean, he's at the top of so many different statistical categories in the top 5. Those stats don't mean everything, but the kid is otherworldly in terms of creating chances, in terms of progressing the ball, in terms of he's a beating heart of that Liverpool attack. He's only 23, and he's doing that. So I still got to put him. So my defense is Davies, Koundé, Jurrien Timber, and Trent Alexander-Arnold.
It's you mentioned it. It's stats, but it's stats and moments. Who has better moments than Trent at right back in the world? No one. And I'll tell you, maybe in the 10 years, it'll be difficult to find a right back with these moments, especially at the age of 23. But Reece James is injured. I say that makes it much easier because Reece James prime, Hakimi prime. I'm having doubts with those two because Reece James has no flaws. Literally, he can score, he can defend, he can cross it. I really have doubts between those two, but Trent, magnifique. But yes, the center backs, Bastoni, I love it. So midfielders, okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna say I love this. My midfield personally. Before I say it, I'm just gonna say for me, underrated. They should be spoken much more than they are. And they will be. Let's be positive. So I'm going to start first mention Tchouaméni. Okay, Tchouaméni at Monaco right now is no doubt in my mind a top 10 central midfielder in the world in form. The captain, the leader of Monaco, and France plays in a double pivot with Pogba and Tchouaméni. Okay, this guy is a baller, and he's under 23, 80 million. it's justifiable for Real Madrid to go out and pay. Every year that passes by is 20 more million for Tchouaméni at Monaco. That's how I see things. So get him fast.
There's inflation around the world, so I'd expect even more than 20 million.
There you go. Then the other center midfielder, I'm going to go with a player that he tackles, he defends, he does it all. He's the fuel of that team, just like Tchouaméni at Monaco. It's Declan Rice at West Ham, okay? That he's built different. Different gravy, man. There's a reason why Man United are quaking their boots when they play against West Ham. At the midfield, Scott McTominay and Fred against Declan Rice, you're going to get bullied. And they did.
Yeah.
So I fully believe that West Ham, it's very difficult for you to keep Declan Rice. And he is the future of England. This is a player that is no doubt Jude Bellingham. You are trying to go and play next to Declan Rice in that midfield.
Sure.
Okay? So he's the future of England. And then at the cam, right now this season, I got to say it. You love him. I love him. It's Florian Wirtz, man. Wirtz is built different in stats, in moments, just like I said with Trent. And the future of the Dachmannschaft is with Florian Wirtz. And let's see it happening. So my midfield, guys, just to recap, Tchouaméni, Declan Rice, and Florian Wirtz at the camp. This is an underrated midfield. Ball.
Yeah, those are. I think you told me I was going to be surprised, but I think we have more aligned than you know. Florian Wirtz actually he leads with no other than Thomas Mueller. He leads all top 5 leagues in goal creating actions. So I know that feels obscure, but that basically tells you he is the fulcrum. And the kid's 18 years old. May have just turned 19, but he's 18 years old. So I'm with you here. I've got at D mid, I've got Declan Rice. I didn't go with Tchouaméni just because Declan Rice has West Ham punching above their weight. He's the lifeblood of that. You can English tax me all you want. You can talk about all that stuff. I do feel Declan Rice is actually pretty underrated. Yeah. And it is kind of funny that you and I have turned a corner on this and been talking about this more because, Tchouaméni is a baller, but Declan Rice for me wins that over. And then I had to put another kind of lifeblood type of situation. Just a phenomenal player having a great year for an underperforming side, and that's Jude Bellingham at Dortmund. Okay. He's higher than Trent, believe it or not, in goal creating actions. He's direct. He's tenacious. I think he's growing exponentially. And he's a whole lot of fun to watch. So while there are better center mids out there right now, Bellingham gets my choice. And then at Cam, I've got Florian Wirtz, man. But I got to shout a couple others.
Please do. Okay? Please do.
Yeah. Because we didn't mention Pedri. He's just getting back. We didn't mention Sandro Tonali.
Mason Mount.
Phil Foden, we're not even really mentioning here. Gavi or Gravenberg. But one I just got to throw out there is going to irk maybe Arsenal fans. One of the most progressive players this year and tenacious players, wears his heart on his sleeve. And I know had a rocky road at Arsenal and still would if he ever returned. Matteo Guendouzi has been playing phenomenally for Marseille this year. And it ain't just the hair, man. He's been very, very good. He is not part of my midfield, but I just felt like I had to mention him.
But you have to, the facts. Truth is, there's 2 players that could be in this. They're being snubbed and closely performing to be in this best under 23. You mentioned Guendouzi and Saliba. Both have a say to play in this team. That's crazy, man. Guendouzi, Mason Mount too, Saka, and it's the fact too. I gotta say, like Fonzie Davies, I didn't put him too because he was injured, and Wesley Fofana too, he was injured. So that's another stuff. But Saliba and Guendouzi, watch out, people. But you wanna go to the front 3, Breton?
Yeah, do it. This is just makes me angry.
It makes you angry, and it makes me angry if this happens to Real Madrid next season, okay? Because the front 3, if you don't know, it's simple, I guess. Mbappe, Haaland, and Vinicius Jr. This season, no one can be ahead, okay, in the top 3 ahead of Vinicius Jr. Beforehand, I'd say Foden was in this generational category. That he is. I do believe Foden is special. But Vinicius Jr., getting the finishing locked is like saying, I'm a cheat code right now, guys. Okay, I'm built different, and so that's why he's in my under 23 winger spot. That's it.
I agree with most of that. I'm going to push back on one. I mean, Erling Haaland has actually missed 11 games this season, and he's already still got 23 goals, 6 assists in 20 games.
Exactly.
So yeah, he's absolutely ridiculous. But why? Here's why I'm going to put Dusan Vlahović over him. Okay, Vlahović has actually been doing it against very quality teams, competition. Okay, so my front three is Vinicius, it is Vlahović, and it is Kylian Mbappe. Vinicius is very simple. He's actually beating Mbappe in a lot of metrics, progressive carries, carries into the box, all sorts of things that won't show up on the stat sheet. No, by the way, he's also got 15 goals, 10 assists. And we know why Kylian Mbappe is there, because you can whatever, wax poetic about League One just not being this, not being that, but the dude's got 19 goals, 16 assists. He does it everywhere, right? He's just insane. He does it in the Champions League. He does it in League One. He does it wherever he wants to.
I agree.
Okay. Why do I pick Vlahović over Erling Haaland? Well, Vlahović has 20 goals, 4 assists. A lot of it is because he has kept a middling team as dangerous can be. He has had ridiculous performances against AC Milan and Atalanta and some others, while Erling Haaland still cannot beat Bayern Munich. Okay, I don't mean this in a negative at all with Erling Haaland. Yeah, but like, come on, he had 4 of those 23 goals for Haaland were in the DFB Pokal, right, in a cup play. He has 2 goals and 4 assists against Frankfurt this year, and like 3 goals against Greuther Fürth. I don't know if that's how you say their name. It hasn't exactly come against quality competition. He is an absolute freak of nature, and very likely by the end of the season, Erling Haaland will absolutely deserve to be in this 11, right? It's the same for me as Phil Foden. Phil Foden, by the end of this year, when we start getting into massive, massive games, like Manchester City doesn't need Phil Foden to light the world up every game. Right? They need Phil Foden to serve a role. And Phil Foden has done that, and he has earned the praise and the trust of one of the best coaches around.
100%. Phil Foden is ahead of Jack Grealish.
Yeah.
So and Jack Grealish was 100 million. So that is a testament of how good Phil Foden is. So gonna say the 11s, so we can have a recap here with the 11s. So at the goal, I go with Donnarumma. At the left, Núñez with Ronald Araújo, Jules Koundé, and at the right, Trent. Then my midfield, Tchouaméni, Declan Rice, and Florian Wirtz, and the strike force, Mbappe, Haaland, and Vinicius Jr. Laporta, please don't make this happen for real at the Real.
All right, my 11, my goalkeeper is Aaron Ramsdale. My left back's Fonzie Davies. My 2 center backs are Jules Koundé and Jurrien Timber. Right back is Trent Alexander-Arnold. I've got Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham, an all-English midfield with my cam Florian Wirtz. I love that we're in agreement with that. And we've got Vinicius, Vlahović, and Kylian Mbappe up top. And one more thing. If Dusan Vlahović had other things, like he didn't even really play in Coppa Italia this year. If he had European competition, I do think Vlahović would have maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 more goals to his name.
That is true.
Right? And he doesn't have it. So he technically could be beating, Erling Haaland on goals scored this year. But the funny thing is Erling Haaland's a freak of nature. This is nothing against him. We know that he probably will be. We got to shout out a couple others that are having ridiculous years, though. Jonathan David's been phenomenal for Lille. Amin Gouiri, Victor Osimhen, Darwin Núñez. These guys just, they're great, but they're not Erling Haaland or Vlahović right now.
that window, man. Yeah, I agree with you. And Karima Dayami, yeah, I agree with you. You got ballers out there, but yeah, Darwin, that's But yeah, people, tell us who should be in our best under 23 11. Put down below in the comment section. Please don't forget to like the video. It's a huge help, man. But yeah, episode 42 here in the wraps. A long one and a good one, man. I really enjoyed doing this. It was it was good.
It's cathartic. There will be so much more to talk about, but really, episode 42 in the books, man.
There you go, in the books, guys. And thank you for listening to episode 42, guys. Go visit fcwonderkid.com to support us even more. Head to the Twitch. We're going live on Twitch, and don't forget to subscribe on the YouTube. That's a massive help for us. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful week, guys. Go Bold.
So long.
Yep.